Good morning, everybody. It is April 8th at 11 o'clock a.m. We're here for our fourth session with the police union for negotiations. At the last session, we had discussed the city's compensation and benefits proposal, and there was a lot of discussion on items. I have completed the written proposal that I just emailed to the two members attending digitally. And here's a copy for both of you, and if you can push one down the road to Marisa. So basically, this proposal is the original cover sheet from the PowerPoint, and then I actually went through and redlined all sections of the contract. So if you have just a minute, I'll walk us all through those changes. Sworn officer position classifications, obviously with eliminating third and second class, I struck those sections. I struck first class officer and just called it a patrol officer. And corporal, I redefined as 5 years of police service with at least 2 years of the 5 as a police officer with the city of Pocatello. So it used to say 3, it now says 2. Moving on, I didn't put in the section numbers under the articles because they're all going to change, but compensation for field training officers, we defined down to sworn field training, emergency communication training officers, and ordinance enforcement training officers will be paid $4.50 an hour while engaged in training, and they will log time in the correct timekeeping position. On page 3, we went into shift differential, bullet point Number 3 is what we updated after discussion at the last meeting. We removed the designation of shifts to specific times and put it down as designated times based on business need as defined by the chief. Days, no differential, swings 2.5%, midnights 5%, and the midday cover for ECOs at 1.25%. Page 4 is where we address step-up pay. There are no changes to this based on our last conversations. Same thing with page 5. This is the annual education bonus. No adjustments there. I did make sure clarifying that members with a bachelor's degree are eligible for the degree pay at the time of hire, so there was no confusion. Page 6 is the physical fitness incentive. No adjustments there from our previous 2 meetings. Page 7, we discussed ECO compensation for special assignments and certifications. No adjustments on either of those. Page 8 gets a little more complicated. The top sections, I have struck all the previous pay grade tables. I then put in the base 0, just explaining how we got it. We eliminated third and second class. We added steps 11 and 12. I explained the difference between corporal over patrol and sergeant over corporal. And then we put in the chart to show what the step percentage is, just so it's easy access for employees. The first full chart under there is the base 0. That's where we did the current scale and we collapsed all of those. Base 1 on line 169 shows that we took the fiscal year 25 table from above and added 28 cents for clothing, coming up with the base 1 table that's listed below. As you can see, step 1 went up by 28 cents. Then starting on line 177, we discussed the 26 scale, which adds the detective special assignment grades. It added the bachelor's degree incentive as separate grades. It addressed field training at $4.50. It addressed the shifts 1, 2, and 3, and it added 1.5 to the table. Starting on page both 10 and 11 are the full pay chart. The lines in light yellow are the start of a rank or an assignment, just so it's easier to read because it's kind of big. As you can see, patrol officer trainer is not eligible to, you cannot get that pay until you are a step 3, as we discussed. Then page 12, we talk about step movements. I did do a slight change here on lines 202 and 203. So I put in the TA that sworn officers, even within an introductory period, are eligible for a step movement at fiscal year if they are not at scale max, as long as steps are granted. In 26, placement on a new scale takes the place of a step. No adjustments beyond there. On page 13, we did change lines 257, 259, and 269. We updated some of the duty gear listed for sworn officers. We added external vest carrier, weapon-mounted light for duty pistol, and we added and optic. And then number 16, instead of Israeli bandage, we have an IFAK kit. And if any of that's spelled wrong, it's the chief's fault. Uniformed civilians, this is the city's proposal that was on the table last that defines who will wear uniforms and who is non-uniform civilian. Boot allowance remains the same. Replacement and repair remains the same as last presented. And then on page 15, which is the last page, starting at line 331, this shows the strike of the bilingual pay, medical insurance, and VIBA reverting back to city standard. That was addressed in the slides, but it didn't show as struck language. So I just wanted to make sure that everyone understood that.
Okay.
And that is the fastest 15 pages I've ever been through.
What happened to Sean?
There's not a lot of changes from what we talked about last time. I just wanted it to be easier for everyone to read and understand in case there were questions.
Okay. So the only thing that we had was just that counter that we had on the table. I'm guessing based on what you just presented, you declined that.
That is correct. We declined including any language around VIVA in the contract.
Okay. I think at this point we're ready to TA the proposal then.
Who will be your signatory here on the dais with me?
Matt.
Oh, congratulations. Is this TA 17? Oh, 18, excuse me. So this takes a lot of the big things off the table. As I discussed before, we do have a few smaller items left, and those are all around items in the PAR that we're looking to pull back into contract. I have not a red line, a highlighted version of the PAR that shows you the sections we would like to consider as a group. A lot of those have to do with promotions because we have to address the now non-competitive corporal moving to threshold-based. So I brought, hypothetically, a copy of those that I'll pass out to your team. At our next session, I will make sure that we have a red line proposal from us so that you guys can provide feedback, but we'll try to do most of the heavy lifting on that item. I know you're out of town the rest of this week, so we would probably look at something late next week at the earliest, if that's okay.
Okay, yeah. As soon as I'm done with this, I'm pretty open.
Okay.
I'm sure we can work something.
I'll send this out digitally. It'll just be the same thing. It's the current fiscal year personnel administration rules. Anything highlighted in yellow is something that we put down as something we could possibly look at. So when you're going through it, that's why they're highlighted in yellow, and I'll get a copy over to you digitally.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right, well, I think that is all the business we have on the table for today.
That's it.
All right, thank you for your time, everybody.
Well, thank you so much.
All right.
Thanks
we'll
again for being flexible and letting us do it via the
Well,
video
enjoy the rest
conference
of your
that you
training.
did. Thank you.